Welcome to this week's devotion. Today I want to talk a little bit about the struggles of life and how we look at those struggles. In our gospel lesson this last week, we saw several people with troubles, and they brought them all to the Lord. We saw the disciples bringing Peter's mother-in-law, Simon's mother-in-law, to Jesus, and we saw Jesus heal her. We saw all of the townspeople catch wind of this, and all their physical problems, their mental problems, their oppression by demons, they brought all of these things to Jesus, and we saw that Jesus healed them and took care of them and restored them, like Simon's mother-in-law, restored them to service. And I think sometimes when we get in the midst of our personal struggles, the only thing we can think of is escaping those struggles. I just want to get right financially. I just want to get past this part of my relationship. I just want to feel normal again. I want to get rid of my anxiety and my stress and just be happy. Or I just want to pass this test. It's the only thing that's on my mind. Well, that's great. But I think our other readings this week, they kind of want to bring an eternal perspective onto our problems. In other words, is getting out of this struggle, is that an end in itself? Well, Jesus made it really clear after he healed everybody in the town. It says the next day, this is what happened. It said, rising very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus departed and went out to a desolate place, and there he prayed. So after Jesus did all the healing, he went to bed. Everybody went to bed just in bliss from having all of their prayers answered. But Jesus gets up before everybody, and he goes out to a desolate place to pray. And Simon and those who were with him searched for him, and they found him and said to him, "Everybody's looking for you." And Jesus said to them, "But let us go on to the next towns, that I may preach there also, for that is why I came out." And he went throughout all Galilee, preaching in their synagogues and casting out demons. So the townspeople obviously wanted Jesus to stay. Jesus had healed them. He had taken care of their problems. They wanted him there in case they came up with other problems. But what does Jesus say? I have to go and preach what I told you to other towns. In other words, showing that the most important thing was the gospel. You see, the gospel sets us right with our God, our Father in heaven. It clears away all of our sin, it clears away all of our guilt, and it gives us eternal salvation. Heaven is our home. So the idea is to look at our worldly struggles as a part of this world. They're a part of living in a fallen world. But we need something that's eternal. If I get healed, I'm going to get sick again. If I get freedom from this anxiety or from this problem I have, another one's going to be right around the corner. But knowing Christ and forgiveness of sins and the peace that he gives reminds me that no matter what happens in this life, I have heaven. And Jesus, he sets me free to serve, just like when he lifted up Simon's mother-in-law, she began to serve. I'm here now for the sake of others. I'm not here now for the sake of success. I'm not here now for the sake of getting past this trouble. Other troubles will come until I'm at home in heaven. But I pray that you and myself would remember Jesus came to preach the gospel. So the gospel is the thing that I want to hold on to, whether I'm sick or whether I'm healthy, whether I'm going through difficult times or whether I'm in a really good time in my life. All of those things, the sickness and the successes, they'll all fade away, but the gospel remains forever. So no matter where I am, I'm content in the gospel of Christ. I pray that contentment would be yours this week, and we'll see you next week for next week's midweek devotion. God's peace to you.